Hello, Soul Garden, and welcome to another episode of The Urban Mystic. You know me, I'm Skip Jennings, and I am your spiritual, inspirational cheerleader, your motivational minister, if you want to call that, right here at the Soul Garden. Well, I am stoked. We're moving into another cycle, another time where the sun is kicking in, and the energy around this is dealing with something really important that we need to discuss. So hold on to your spiritual seatbelts. Hold tight. Hey, we're talking about the ego. The ego. The ego. Some people want to say the ego means edging God out. I'm going to kind of flip that. I heard that and I kind of resonated with that for a while. But edging God out, I don't think so. Here's the ego. What it really is something that is used to protect us. Here's the issue. When the ego gets too big, then we start moving God out. So we want to talk about right-sized ego. The first week we always talk about the blocks that keep us away from our awareness that we are one in God. Second week we have an action plan. I give you some words for action. And then the third week is called self-mastery. So let's get into it. First week, the blocks around the ego. And we're talking about what blocks us from knowing our highest potential, knowing that we are one in God. The first one I want to talk about is the ego itself. And I said this early in the introduction. The ego was created or a part of us to really protect us. Back in the day, we're talking about the dinosaur age, we're talking about when man started to kind of walk up, we needed the ego to tell us, oh, here comes a dinosaur, we better run. Hey, how about today when we're walking across the street and we see a bus coming, the ego says, get out of there, move back, it's reaction. Or the ego, for me to get up in front of you, I need to have a little bit of an ego. I need to be having the confidence to say I can stand up and help inspire people. That is the ego that's happening. Here's what happens. When the ego starts to get really, really inflated and the spiritual consciousness becomes deflated, we need to work on that. We want to balance out the ego, right-size ego, and allow God to be the source that people see. So we now allow God to work through us. Next one I want to talk about is strength. Strength, being strong. And sometimes people will kind of look at your strength and go, that person has a great big ego. And what they're seeing is their strength. Understand this. Your strength is the strength of God. Your ego, if it's inflated, is the strength of yourself. We want to tap into source. We want to tap into God. We want to turn to source and know that ego has its place, but God is everything. Let's turn to that strength. Here's the next word we're going to talk about. It is called personality. Don't allow your ego to be your personality. I always am minded of that I want you guys to see God shining through more than Skip shining through. What blocks me from my awareness of God is when I get really inflated in my ego and I go, oh, Skip did that. I got to remember, no. God did that. Because I'm one in God and God is working through me and I'm stepping up to this camera as God. Yes, the connection. But we all have the possibility of knowing that. Here we go, appearances. Now, I have a thing, I'm going to confess it. I love shopping. I love shopping. I love shopping. You say shop to me, I get little God bumps down my back. I love it because I'm really invested in my appearance. And here's the thing. I understand that it is a superficial thing. See, if you take off all the rings and all the jewelry you see me wear every week, and you take off the clothes, I would be here naked. And that's being real. I'm not going to do it. I'm not, because it's not that kind of network. But I am going to strip this down. This is just appearances. And what's under me is a divine emanation of God. Appearances sometimes can be deceiving. Here's your next word we're going to talk about is action. Sometimes we have great ideas. Sometimes we have great meanings and things that we know we should do around the ego, and we're not willing to take action. Sometimes we know that we need to meditate so that our ego doesn't get inflated and God starts to shine through, we must take action. We get these divine thoughts, oh, I need to pray more, and we don't do it. Take the action. It is the action that helps us to tap into God. Last word we're going to talk about is the image. The image of what we see and what others see, make sure it is God. Make sure it's love. Make sure it's compassion. Make sure it's joy. Make sure that image that's shining through in other people's eyes of you is the divine qualities of God. So here's your 7-day challenge. We are moving the blocks out of our life. Get your journals out. I want you to journal for 7 days and write about all the things that are blocking you from understanding that you're in God. We must identify first. Identify. Once we identify, let's put into action some other things that will help us to move past those blocks. See the block, and we know the truth. We're going to go from the blocks to the truth. We'll be talking to you next week about that. So, affirmation time. Take a deep breath in, close the eyes, and let's tap in. So say with me with enthusiasm. Just for today, just for this moment, and just for this breath. I am one in God, therefore my life is good. Say it again. Just for today, just for this moment, just for this breath. I am one in God, with God, as God, and life is good. So remember, right here at the Garden, I am a practitioner. I'm here to help you. I can move you through some blocks that you're having, doing some one-on-ones with you. I Skype, so I can Skype all around the world with you. Remember, become a friend here or at Facebook or at Twitter. And make sure you check out all the other things that are happening here at the Garden. Great things, great blogs on the front page, on the main page. Check out other people's shows. Hey, it's time to shift this planet, and it begins with you. Remember, the ability to shift your life always within yourself. Until next time, I'm Skip Jennings. So God and